Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here, coming at you with another TTM weekly recap autograph episode, and just wanted to recap with you all the TTMs and the autograph pickups I got up for the week. I also did forget to share 2 weeks ago, not last Saturday, but 2 weeks ago, Saturday's returns. So actually I need to see, I don't know if they're still here. They're probably not. I know they are. There we go. Well, this is some of them. Yeah. I've already shown that one. I don't know why that's in there. So I guess we'll start off with those because this is some of them. This isn't all the cards. I've already sorted them to like where they're supposed to go and stuff. So I had sent 2 cards to Mr. Johnny Cooks. It's from those cards that Andrew sent me. Then I got Paul Kaufman back that week. So again, this was 2 weeks ago. I just forgot to show him. At least I'm pretty sure I did. And then Kevin House. And then I sent to Mr. Scott Williams, who's a former NBA player on the Bulls. And he signed my 2 photos and included 3 cards. So this is one of the cards. Sadly, that one's smeared pretty bad because it's one of those, it's the film protector on the finest cards. But there's 2 other cards along with the photo. And then Mr. Richard Edlin, who's a cinematographer who worked on the Star Wars prequels. Not prequels, the Star Wars originals. My bad. This is one photo that he signed. He signed another one for my friend. So I believe that's all I had from that particular day. So I just want to make sure I actually shared those with you guys before almost forgetting. And then I accidentally grabbed the Henry Ellard. I don't think that was in there, but it could have been. I don't remember. So with the from now caught up to current, this is going to be from last Saturday till today, Friday. And this is Mr. Michael Morton. It is actually a failure. I got a little confused because apparently there is 2 Michael Mortons who played in the NFL. One in the 80s, one in the 90s. This is the one from the 80s. And the one from the 90s is a dentist. So I sent to a dentist's office, but that is not him. But he did play football. So this gentleman here was listed under that Mike Morton's address, and there's pictures and everything. So that's why I thought this was him. But that is not him. So definitely need to try and update StarTag on that, and maybe hopefully they saw my response and we'll change that. So that was kind of a bummer and also confused me. Then we got a return to sender that I sent to Woody Bennett, who I believe was a Dolphins fullback. So that one did not work. Let's see if the card is what I think it is. Yeah, he's the number 34 that's jumping over there for the goal line, probably, or first down. So that one did not work, and he is not at the Via Leonardo Lake address. So don't use that one if you decide to send to Mr. Woody Bennett. So that was the 2 failures. Then we got 1 baseball return. I'm really slacking on the baseball returns, but hopefully I'll get some more out here real soon. I just need to get some stamps and figure out what's going on with the new printer with all the ink. Why that's not working properly. So when I get that done, then I can actually send out some more. But I got Mr. Hector Cruz, who played on the Cardinals and the Reds, and a couple other teams in there as well. Here's a photo of his rookie card with the front and back, which are kind of cool cards. I find those photos on when I search his name, and I usually like to use them because then you can look at a little bit at their stats there. So, and then the 78 tops, because I didn't have a card of him, so next best thing is get a photo. And then he also signed he was testing out his marker, signed the back of the letter. So technically, he got 4 autographs. So it's kind of cool. Then we got a bunch of football, because obviously I've got a ton of football out there. Mr. Bob Brunig signed an 83 tops, former Cowboys linebacker. Also included a sticky note. I moved it to the back, what was on the front. Just thanks for your kind comments, Bob Brunig. Then we got Mr. Mike Harden, former Broncos cornerback, and also played for the Raiders later on, but he was pretty solid. And never gotten back from him before. I did try about 3 years ago and didn't hear anything, so tried again and it worked. Got a Mr. Kent Hill on an 86 tops, former Rams offensive lineman. He was pretty good for a long time. We got Mr. Barney Chavis, former defensive end of the Denver Broncos. Signed in pen, so it's kind of hard to see, but he does have a Matthew 5:16 inscription. So we'll go ahead and read that off for you. I think we might have this. Oh, maybe we haven't. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. So cool verse. Then we have former punter of the Rams, Dale Hatcher. This is the one that I was probably least expecting to actually come back signed. So this is pretty cool. This guy was a pretty good wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles for a number of seasons. And sometimes he signs, sometimes he doesn't. I guess it depends on the time of year sent. I don't know. I did not include any money because I did not see any info saying that he requested that. So I just tried with some cards and a letter, and it worked. So I got Mr. Mike Quick. So it's really cool, and I believe I've seen Ellis Cards get him back before. And that was a long time ago. It's probably been about 2 or 3 years since Christian got him back, but I know I kept on planning on sending to him and just kept putting it off, and got these cards from Andrew, and I was like, let's give it a shot and see what happens. So, and it worked, so that's really cool. And like his last name, it actually came back really quick, so that's pretty cool. Then we have a Broncos Ring of Famer. He was one of the best punt and kick returners of his time, especially in the AFC, and was a decent wide receiver as well. Primarily, though, he was a special teamer, but did very well. Unfortunately, the card did get creased, but that's alright. Mr. Rick Upchurch signed the 82 tops. Another Broncos legend, so that's really cool. Then we got a former Cowboys safety, Mr. Michael Downs, who's also a pretty solid player. Cowboys are pretty stacked with really good players for a long time, honestly, so I can't go wrong sending it to any Dallas Cowboys. Then we have a long-time wide receiver, played for the Steelers and the Bills for a very long time. Pretty solid player, Mr. Frank Lewis. Signed the 82 tops in action card. And then I like how he did this one. He says, to Caleb from Frank Lewis. So kind of like how he inscribed that one. So that's really cool. So thank you, Mr. Lewis, on that. So that's it for the football cards. We do have a couple photos, or at least one. Mr. Julian Fagan, who is a former punter of the New Orleans Saints back in the early 70s. I believe he also may have played for the Eagles later on, about 73 or so. He signed, this was like a Topps football stamp that I found a photo of and sent that to him. So he signed that one, and then he signed kind of one of my little printout custom deals that I do. And he says, Caleb, I still smell the grass. So kind of a cool inscription there. Very neat. And it looks like he wrote a note. He just said, Caleb, wish you the best. All good to you, Julian Fagan. So, okay, well, for like show my entire letter just for privacy's sake. But, so very cool. So that was it for the football. And then we had one hockey return. He signed one for me and one for Bruce. This is Mr. Jim Watson. Previously I tried sending to him at a different address. It did not work. It came return to sender. They did not forward mail anymore, I guess. So I think I tried a home address and this time it worked. I did see something, some people were sending a donation like years past, but it didn't look like anything current, so I don't think he's charging anymore, but wouldn't be surprised maybe every now and then you might get some backs and ask for money. I have no idea, but very happy to get those back. Then we have a couple ones that have been out for quite some time actually that I sent out for Garrett back in last summer, so these will find their way to him. Or one was to Kim and one was to Garrett, my bad. So at least the tennis one will find its way to Garrett at some point in the year. This is former golfer Paul Azinger. Actually, I believe he's still current. That's why it took so long. So sent to his home address. That was back in probably about June that I sent this. So signed this one for Kim. So that'll be coming your way, Kim. Then this was the one that I sent out for Garrett. This is Mr. Andre Agassi, tennis star. I also sent this back around May or June. Cool 5x7. And then this is what probably more people would recognize him with, the long hair. So definitely quite a change, but very cool to get that one back. I was sending out like just different random TTMs for him. Then we have an MMA return. This one is actually, I believe, for Bruce. This is Miss Sabina Mazzo, who I sent to in November, and she signed it and signed in silver. So very cool. Young up-and-coming female MMA star. So really cool. Sent probably about 3 or 4 MMA requests recently. So we'll hopefully see if those will work. I try to send a few out every now and then. Some of the people that pop up don't always have addresses attached to them, because I think there's like a group, whatever, like an MMA group, that takes like 90 or days or whatever for it to publicly appear. So I can't always send to the MMA folks. But for the most part, you can pretty much write to I think the UFC PO box and get a lot of them. And then I got some purchases / gifts. So been watching the recaps because I don't have the Nuggets available with Xfinity. They drop that channel that they play on, so unless they're on channel publicly, can't really watch them. So I watch the highlights on YouTube. This guy's been doing pretty good when he gets a chance. Michael Porter Jr. So I bought a couple of his rookie cards. I don't know where the second one is. It's around here somewhere, but found this one, so got it for like 49 cents or whatever. So that was kind of cool. And then I did a break for the 2020 Topps with Megan, and I picked the Rockies, of course, and didn't hit anything big or anything, but got plenty of base for just for the collection and for possible binders and stuff like that. So it was worth it for me. So kind of looks cool, the new 2020 stuff. Let's take it out so you don't see so much glare. If you haven't seen the 2020 Topps yet, this was actually my first time even seeing them yet as well. I refrained from watching videos yet to, I guess, be surprised. So they look cool. So nice break there. And then as you know, I as a prize for the Battle of the Decades contest, I gave the winning team a $50 shopping spree, if I could speak, on Michael's charity site, Autographs for a Cure, and they all got their stuff, so thank you, Michael, and thank you everybody for participating. Hopefully you enjoy those for your collection. But Michael said he wanted to give me a chance to get one for my collection, so I was like, I'd been eyeing that George Strait that he had on there. I sent to Mr. George Strait for me and my boss, and don't know if it'll work, so at least I've tried him before and it hasn't worked. It hasn't come back yet, so I want to at least get one of him. So we'll open this up and take a look. So, but just as a thank you from Michael for donating to him, he wanted me to pick some. So, and it looks like he snuck some other ones in there. So this was, well, here we'll read the note first. It says, thanks for supporting AFAC. You are a true leader in this community. Enjoy the military extras, The Godfather, Michael Rose. So very cool. That'll go into the YouTube PC right there for sure. So here is the photo that I wanted. George Strait, country music legend, obviously. Listened to a lot of his songs. Extremely popular, and I believe he's retiring this year, so wanted to make sure I have an autograph of his in my collection. Then these are some extras he included, which is really cool of him to do so. You didn't have to do this. This is General Michael Flynn. I know a subject of, I guess, controversy, but honestly, I'm a conservative and I honestly support Mr. Flynn, so hopefully the Justice Department will do their due diligence and figure out what happened on that end. Then we have Miss General Ann Dunwoody, U.S. Army retired, signed a photo cover of her book, A Higher Standard. I don't have anything of Miss Dunwoody, so that's cool. Then we have a World War II, looks like an Iwo Jima veteran. This is Norman Hutch, who I also don't have anything of. Looks like either this photo was taken in 2014 or was printed in 2014, so this is before I was even collecting World War II autographs, so that's really cool. Always nice to add these. Then we got Ben Kuroki. Wow, this is cool. World War II hero, Lucky Ears. It's very cool. I've never gotten from him either. We got Bernice Haydu. I recognize that signature. She was a WASP pilot in the Women's Air Service Patrol, in case you're unfamiliar with the acronym. So that's very cool. I have a small collection of WASP pilots. At the time when I was sending to them, there weren't too many alive, and there's not very many alive now. I think there's maybe a handful. Then we have Mr. Roy Gleason, who Michael's quite excited to get back from. He is a former MLB player who actually had won a bat in the MLB and got a hit, and he is batted 1,000 for his entire career, and then he was later drafted into Vietnam and went over there and fought and chose to, you know, put the country above self, and definitely thank him for his service. So that's really cool to get back from Mr. Roy Gleason. And Mr. Gleason also did make a sizable donation to Michael's charity as well, so that was really cool. So that is really awesome, Michael. Thank you so much for those extras. I was not expecting you to include those extras, so I definitely have to write him a thank you over on Facebook. So 100%. So thank you so much. If you guys are unfamiliar with his site or his channel, I'll make sure to put links down below for you guys to go check that out. Definitely don't want to miss out. Michael's been doing TTMs for a long time, and he'll be back soon. He's taking a little break, but he'll be back soon doing videos. But he's been posting up a storm on his site, and lots of cool stuff on there. And every now and then Reindeer Studio sends him some stuff as well, some of his doodles that players return, so you can always take a look out for those, and then also awesome returns that he gets back. So definitely well worth go checking out his channel and his site, please. So definitely go check that out. Then we got 2 more packages and we're done. Chris Grass 101, he's also on YouTube. I'll also make sure to put his link down below right under Michael's, and he wanted to send a little something for Kim that I'll be sending here to next month or towards the end of this month. I'm not sure. It depends how much stuff comes in time for her. So I told him I would open it live on camera. I won't obviously show the stuff that's for Kim, but if he, I guess, I don't know if he sent anything for me or not, but at least my reaction put my reaction on camera for him. So I appreciate Chris thinking of Kim. You just saw how generous she is and giving to others and always supporting everybody's channels. I mean, you can watch so many videos and usually you see a comment from Kim, so that's really cool. But he wanted to send a little something, so thank you, Chris, for doing that. So definitely, guys, make sure you go check him out. So there's a little one there. He said if I want to, I can pick some to give to her or to me or whatever I want to do there. So here's one from him. So I guess, and there's a stack of, looks like IP cards that he got. He does a lot of IP work as well. So we'll open this. Oops. Yeah. So thank you card. It says, Dear Caleb, I'm sending you some signed cards for your collection. I sent 20 cards and I want you to pick 10 and send 10 for Kim. Thanks for everything you do for the collecting community. Chris Jacobs, aka Chris Crafts 101. So thank you so much, Chris, for that. Looks like there's some stuff in here. Got a nice, what year is this? 2017 Topps jersey card, Mr. Jason Hayward. Remember when that guy was back in 2010 when he came on the scene, was huge. His cards were untouchable for me. Of course, in 2010 I was like in my teens, so I didn't have a job yet, so I couldn't afford nothing. But very cool. I've never had a jersey card, Mr. Jason Hayward, so that is really awesome. So then here's the 20 cards he said. So Kim, honestly, whatever, if you want to pick 10 yourself, definitely do so. If you haven't seen this video. So Mr. Will Venable, that is TTM. Got Mr. Bobby Witt, Senior. Bob Milwaukee. Mr. Dan Plasak. Woody Williams, played for a long time, successful picture as well. Mr. Zane Smith. Got a nice Michael Taylor. He kind of had a little bit of a comeback year this year, I guess, getting a chance. Stole a lot of bases. That's a cool one. This guy's kind of reinvented himself as a reliever, a left-handed specialist, Zach Duke. So very cool. Never had anything of him, I don't believe. Don Powell. Got former Rocky for a short time, Mr. Todd Green. Mostly played with the Angels. So that's a nice one. Former Red, Sam LeClaire. I do remember seeing him play a little bit. Former Dodgers prospect, was expecting big things. I had a few of his rookie cards, Mr. Jerry Sands. Just didn't pan out for him. Hit when he came up, he was hitting decent in the MLB, but I guess just lost the ability there, just didn't perform as well. So got Mr. Jeff Reed, who also I believe may have become a Rocky, I can't remember. Jim Poole, former Oriole. Former Rocky as well, Chad Qualls, for at least a year or two. He was actually doing pretty decent, and then he got injured, and then we had to put in other like rookies who didn't do so well. But Chad Qualls, actually, when he came in, he usually got the job done. Don't think I have anything of Mr. Reggie Jefferson, so that's a cool one. Orioles legend there, Ken Singleton. That's an in-person autograph. And he signs TTM, I think, for like $5. This is IP Nolan Reimold. He had some good seasons with the Orioles. Wasn't necessarily a starter. Got IP Gary Reineke, who's in the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame, and IP as well, Gerald Laird, who also I believe played for the Orioles for at least a season, but kind of was like a second or third string catcher, but had a little bit of pop in his bat, good defense, so do remember him a lot. So that's really cool. So some really nice baseball autographs, Chris, so thank you so much for those. So definitely, guys, go make sure you check out his channel. He posts pretty frequently. Then finally got a package from the Ukraine. And I don't know necessarily if the autograph is real. I didn't pay a lot for it at all. I think it was free shipping. It was probably $8 or $9. I figured it was worth a shot. Last year, I went on like a binge of watching the Mission Impossible movies, and this gal was in the last 2 or 3 movies, I think. And can't see any signing history of TTM for her, so I went to go see if she had any that could be purchased. And this is all there was a decent amount of autographs on there, but they were super expensive. So hopefully this is legitimate. It said it was IP at an event in Russia or whatever, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So I figured it was worth a shot for $8 in free shipping. Why not? So this is Miss Rebecca Ferguson. She is a British actress, I believe, if I remember right. And this is a little bit bigger than 8x10, I think. It'll be like an 8.5 by 11, I think, actually. But very cool photo. That's when she's being chased, so on a motorcycle, but signed in gold. It doesn't really look auto pen, but it kind of looks like the autographs I've seen from her, so I think it's real. So I figured, why not? I want to take a closer look at that. But yeah, kind of a cool purchase there, that sometimes you just gotta be willing to take those chances and buy from out of the US, and sometimes you score. So yeah, so thanks so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I know this is kind of a long video, but we had a lot to go over, so definitely hope you enjoyed watching. And Kim, just let me know what 10 cards you wanted to pick from there, or if you want me to pick first. It doesn't matter to me. And thank you so much to the generosity from Michael and Chris for sending those, and thank you to the eBay sellers I bought these from, and everybody for watching. So hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all later, guys. So talk to you later. Bye.